Hello, welcome to a new video. I'm going to talk about tips that you can use when you're playing the piano in restaurants as background music. And I have spent many hours as a piano player in a restaurant, in various different restaurants from local and how do you say that? From small to Michelin style, and yeah, these are some findings that I am going to share with you. Things that you can keep in mind whenever you are playing on the piano, or maybe you're watching this video because you're just curious to hear what a background piano player is doing. So here's number one thing. So imagine you are sitting behind 88 keys on the grand piano or small piano in front of an audience, and this audience is eating in a restaurant, and your background music is an additional, yeah, it replaces the radio, of course, but it is an additional enhancement of the customer's experience, right? So you get hired by the restaurant manager or the hotel owner or a person like that, and they hire you for the experience. So you're not only playing piano music, you are enhancing the experience. So what I do when I'm playing the piano, and I think it's very important because it enhances the experience, is that you're not just playing the piano, you're also, let me say it differently. You're not only watching where or what you're playing, you're also taking into account what is happening in the room. So when somebody enters the room, you look at them and you nod like hi or welcome, because your face is the first thing they see when they enter the room, and you're playing something nice. And then they enter the room. It can be a couple, it can be a group, and they see you, and sometimes they ignore you, but sometimes they want to say hi, or they don't know exactly, like, can we say hi to the piano player or will that distract him? But to release that slight tension, you can just look at them. Of course, you need to play something that you know by heart, or improvise something that is very structured, so your hands know what to play next, and your coordination requires to not look at your hands. So then you have the freedom to look at this group or look at this couple and say, not say hi, but just nod, or actually say it. Doesn't really matter, but that's usually what I do to give them a welcome. Another thing, I would say this is tip number 2, is I already said it a little bit, but notice what is happening in the room. So when I play for 4 hours in an event, it's not always, I mean, it's never 4 hours straight eating. If there's a big group event, usually there are speeches, or somebody who wants to say something, or maybe the chef who wants to explain what everybody's eating. And you need to feel when that is happening. Or before you start playing, you discuss it with the manager and you explain that one simple eye contact can be enough for you to move towards something like this. And usually I go into the last chord, but I can extend it as long as needed. So when the manager is ready to talk, I get a nod and I would just stop. And my sustain pedal would release. And this can happen maybe twice on an evening like that, or 3 times, or maybe once, or maybe never. And it's good to be prepared. So before you start, I would really encourage to discuss with the manager what to expect, but also be prepared to be flexible, because sometimes the situation needs you to be flexible. Number 3. So the mistake that I have made in the past is that you forget about yourself. You're playing there for a long time, and you need to eat, you need to drink. So whenever the waiter is usually they come at you, but they can also forget about you, and you need to ask for your drink, or you need to ask if a lunch can be prepared or a dinner can be prepared for you. Because if you don't, you are playing there with while getting hungry, and that's not good. That breaks the experience for everyone, and it would just be better to discuss this. But also, this is something that can be discussed before you start playing. Number 4 would be handling requests. I am not a piano player that can instantly play any song. So if somebody comes with a request, I look on my phone for the chords, and then I start to play the chords. And if I know the melody, I try to play the melody. But if I don't know the melody, I need to go. I go on my phone while these people are waiting. But usually, it's fun because you're in a conversation. It doesn't have to be. There are piano players who can instantly play any song. Well, I am not like that, and I know that. So I guess I make a joke about it or something like that. But if I play the chords in combination with the color blocks, they usually are already impressed because they recognize something. If it is a classical piece, it's a little bit harder, but if a classical piece is requested, it's usually a very famous one. So if it's something like this, I don't know the whole song, but I know the first few measures, and then they're happy, right? Or if it's this song, something like that, and or if it's something like the Beatles with Let It Be, yeah, these are pretty. This is something that I don't have in my standard repertoire, but the melody is not super difficult. So just searching on YouTube or remembering it, but that's a little bit harder. Well, I I try to play something like that then, and I make a lot of mistakes, but that is also the fun. And they like that you can instantly play something like that. And of course, yeah, I have trained a long time to achieve this level, but I want to repeat that in my left hand, usually I only play color blocks. Let's say 80% of the time. And if you only focus on color blocks, you can also convert a song real time to color blocks. So if you see, this is a little bit more complex, but if you have a chord progression like the Beatles' Let It Be, C, G, F, and C. If you just play the color blocks, it already sounds like Let It Be. If you add the melody on top, then that's of course not super simple, but that's not super simple, but it's also not that super difficult. Yeah, to do it instantly for any song, that is a little bit more difficult. But my point is that with chords and then color blocks, yeah, you can basically learn songs relatively fast. I think that's a good way to describe it. And number 5 answers the question if I ever play a certain song twice in the same evening, and the answer is yes. I play the same song twice, or sometimes 3 times, but always in a different version. So I can play the same arrangement, but I can play it in a higher octave, or I can play it slower, or I can play it louder, or I can play it softer. So if I play, let's say, a song like this, oh, so I can play it in the normal way. This is how the song originally sounds, but you can also play it in a kind of a soundscape way. Let me give a different example. In a more cinematic way eventually. I'm not sure if this was the best example ever, but let me try to give a different example, because this was also a little bit weird, because You'll Never Walk Alone is counted in three, or actually six, but the color blocks originally are in four. So let me try to give an example in with a movie soundtrack. How to Train a Dragon. Or you notice the difference? It's the same melody, but it's in a completely different soundscape. Yeah, it's a completely different take, completely different approach. So, yeah, I definitely use the same song twice, but it's usually a limitation of what I can currently come up with. Actually, I need to make a list for myself with all the songs that I'm comfortable playing, such as How to Train a Dragon or You'll Never Walk Alone. And that would help me, but I have never made that list. So yeah, that would help, but that results in an evening having a lot of different songs, and then after 2 or 3 hours I am like, oh, what can I play? And then I'm just like thinking while the audience is just not noticing anything. And then I'm done thinking and I'm like, okay, let's just go easy mode. And this is something that you also can do. It is actually just sending an email to a lot of different hotels or restaurants and ask if you can play the piano. I would usually not recommend to work for free, but it's a really great it's a really great starter if you want to have a lot of gigs this year. I think, yeah, you should send an email to 100 restaurants saying that you will provide your first 4 hours for free, and then if they like it, they can ask you and ask for your price. This is advice from Alex Hormozy, who is a business expert. He has grown a lot of businesses into multi-million-dollar businesses, and he started out working for free. So working for free is yeah, it's kind of weird, especially in the musicians world, because it's kind of a stigma that gets reactivated, which maybe a little bit painful. But how do you say that? Consult it from to view it from a perspective from a business perspective, it can be really it can be really valuable to yourself if you provide value first to others. And he basically says work for free until they throw money at you. And yeah, I think there's a core of truth inside inside that. Um, yeah. So that's basically my five tips about if you want to play in a restaurant, or you just watch this video because you're interested what's going on with the background piano player. And yeah, I hope you found this video insightful. If you would like to learn the piano for free, you can subscribe to my channel, and I also have a more personalized approach. If you click the link below, you can join the classroom and the community. And in the past 30 days, there have been maybe 20 to 30 new members, and I'm super happy to have welcomed you. And if you join, you can have a personalized call with me. It's a welcome call, and if you want further training, that's also possible for an extra rate or for an extra yeah, I can give private coaching. And if the community is enough for you, that's also fine. For $65 per year, you have access, and you learn how to play 3 songs in 30 days. And you will also learn how to improvise using the color blocks method. So I really try to over deliver on that offer. And if you have any feedback for me, I would love to hear from you. And yeah, if you like the video, you can leave a like. And other than that, hope to see you in the next one. And have a great day.